The AK-47 is one of the first AKs that you unlock in Phantom Forces, and it is one of the strongest, hardest hitting assault rifles in the game. And today I'm going to show you the best setup for it. But before we get into that, please consider dropping a like and a sub, it does help me out a ton. Anyways, the setup is going to be your object of choice, muzzle brake, Romanian grip, green laser, and armor piercing, or hollow points, but I will talk about that in a second. Now on the barrel, the muzzle brake is just going to be the best because of the way that the AK-47's recoil works. Don't ask me, it's just how it works. Look at the stats, muzzle brake is the best. And then on the grip, or the underbarrel I mean, the grip, I sound like a noob. Anyways, Romanian will be the best, but it is unlocked a little later. So before that, if you want to use the angled or the stubby grip, those are both good depending on whether you want the faster aim speed of the angled or the better recoil of the stubby. They're both good, but Romanian is the best pretty decisively, I think. And it is just cool, you know? Romanian grip, it looks cool. Anyways, on the section titled Other, you want to run the green laser because recoil. Yeah, and then the conversions. Now I run armor piercing partially because I have it unlocked and because I don't have hollow points unlocked, but hollow points are also very, very strong. Obviously you do more damage even though you do have a negative torso multi, which does kind of stink, but not really. But with hollow points, you get a longer 3-tap range, you continue to have the 4-tap from all ranges, and you can also do the one head, one torso combo, I guess, and kill someone really, really fast, even though it's only up to a certain distance, but it's still a good distance to be able to kill someone that quick with this kind of gun. I just looked it up, it says 80 studs, so up to 80 studs, one head, one torso, easy kills. But if you do not have hollow points, or if you don't want to pre-buy it, armor piercing is very, very good. I've been using it ever since I unlocked it. It's really convenient just because of the extra penetration, which you do lose out on with hollow points, which I think is one of the worst parts of hollow point, but generally I would say that they're both very good. I think on a map like, you know, a longer mid-range to long range map like Desert Storm, Crane Sight, Ravid, I think those kind of maps I would run armor piercing, but on closer maps like Bazaar and Penthouse, I would prefer hollow points, even though I don't have them unlocked. And I'm not going to pre-buy them because I'm saving credits to buy other stuff, so I'm not going to pre-buy it, but hollow points are good, just trust me. If you don't trust me, then just use armor piercing and it's also going to be good. But anyways, moving on. Like I said, the AK-47 is just very, very powerful. Like all the AKs, it does hit very hard, or like most of the AKs I should say. It hits very hard, but it does sometimes have iffy recoil. And the AK-47 is not really an exception because the recoil, especially without all of the best attachments, can be a little rough. And even with all the attachments, the initial kick can be a bit much and it can lead you to miss some shots at range. But even at range, it is still accurate enough and it does good damage at range so that it still is a good gun at range and in CQC, even though, you know, it's not a CQC gun obviously, but like I said, with hollow points you get the one head, one torso kill. That's what makes it really good in a lot of scenarios. But even without that, even without hollow points, sometimes people will be low enough to where you can just hit them once or twice with any conversion and do enough damage to kill them. And a lot of times I just find myself when I'm up next to somebody just hip firing and hitting a headshot, whether I'm aiming for it or not, and it just still is really good in CQC, even though obviously in some scenarios you are going to get outclassed in CQC, but you know, it's an assault rifle, not a PW or a shotgun or a carbine, so that's just going to happen with any assault rifle really, except maybe like the AK-416, but that's an exception. The AK-47, like I said, is one of the first AKs you unlock. I think the AK-12 is the only one I can think of off the top of my head that you can actually use before the AK-47, but that's because it's rank 0, so, and the AK-47 is rank 47. Wow. What a coincidence. It's definitely not a coincidence, but anyways, 47 is not very high, so a lot of people will have the AK-47, including you. Probably, unless you're below rank 47, which in that case, get to grinding. No, not really. But if you do have it, which you most likely do, you should give it a shot because it's a lot of fun. I think it's a little different than a lot of other assault rifles that people usually use. Assault rifles that are more accurate and have a higher fire rate, but less damage. It's not, you know, a super accurate, little recoil, really sweaty player kind of gun, which I think is something that you gotta appreciate about the AK-47. You know, nobody's gonna see somebody popping off with the AK-47 and being like, oh my gosh, of course this guy is using the AK-47. But if you're popping off with like the AK-416 or the C7A2, people are going to be like, oh, of course they're using that. But the AK-47, they're not going to say that because if you're doing good with the AK-47, you're just good at the game, really, I think, as an AK-47 fan, at least. All I'm trying to say is that it's a very respectable gun, which does count for something. But anyways, that is all I got to say about the AK-47. Go use it if you haven't. A lot of fun. Get good with it. Or don't, if you don't want to, but I don't know why you're watching this video, if that's the case. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider dropping a like and a sub, and till next time.